Heaven's benevolence heard young Perkins, for no sooner had the clock struck the hour than the sheriff pulled up in his patrol car. Seated in the back seat was Pastor Jackson, accompanied by the widow. The three emerging from the automobile just as the school bell rang. Once again, Pickman had been defeated. His malign plans had been foiled. The usual shouts of "Hooray, hooray, no more school today" rang out as the children rushed out of the schoolhouse and into the yard. Some skipping, some laughing, some walking in silent reflection. But all still wearing their wooden crosses. Perkins grabs Kevin by the arm and leads him to the door where the sheriff, the pastor, and the lovely young widow stand in the entryway. The sheriff extends his hand. "Afternoon there, mister. I didn't get your name. I heard that there was a new school teacher in Colored Town." Mr. Pickman doesn't acknowledge the sheriff's presence. His eyes remained fixed on the two young men who present him with mocking smiles as they join the group of adults. Taking the young widow's hand, young Perkins inquires as to the widow's presence. "Hazel, you said that you wasn't going to be back until late. What you doing here?" "Oh, I don't know." Smiling pleasantly, the young widow answers, "I just changed my mind, I guess. Pastor told me this is to be your first day at work. He told me you're a working man. He said you got a job down there in Musky. I was kind of worried after what happened yesterday, but the sheriff here, he assured me that he was going to watch over you. That made me feel a mite better. So I just came down here to the schoolhouse to see you off." The pastor clears his throat, which gains the attention of Mr. Pickman. It is only then that he notices the sheriff's presence, his hand still extended. "Oh, excuse me, Sheriff," the teacher clasping the sheriff's hand, vigorously shaking it. "I'm so sorry I didn't notice you." "I see," the sheriff gruffly replies. "I know these children can be a handful." "Why, yes, they can. You're so right, they certainly can be." Glaring at young Perkins, he adds, "Some more than others." The pastor notices the cold way in which Pickman glares at the young boys. Coming to their defense, he declares, "Well, Mr. Pickman, I'm sorry, but this here young man got a job in town. You know the boy's grandmama, Miss Emma. She's a good soul, but she spends most of her time taking care of Bessie May and that old worthless Silas. The family needs a little more money. The sheriff, well, he figures that a few hours working in town couldn't do no hurt. I figured it probably do much to help the family. So whatever mischief the boy's been up to, well, me and the sheriff here, we'd be obliged if you didn't keep them after school. Matter of fact, this here boy got to leave before class is over. I reckon about an hour or so. It'll give the boy here enough time to get into Musky for to do his work. What you think, Sheriff? You think if we set out, about 1 o'clock, the boy could make it to Musky on time?" The pastor addressing the sheriff, but all the time his eyes are on young Perkins, who returns the pastor's gaze with a knowing wink, accompanied by a toothy grin. The pastor's smiling face returns the wink with one of his own. The acknowledgement of solidarity eases the young man's troubled soul. The pastor possesses a certain wisdom, the type of inner knowledge that only one in his profession would have. He was that rare individual, a man who took his spiritual obligations seriously. The state of every single soul in Colored Town was his personal responsibility. That's why he spent so many hours carving and blessing by prayer and holy water each and every one of the protective talisman that graced the necks of all. From the first time he met the mysterious Mr. Pickman, from the first time he gazed into those cold, blue-gray eyes, he knew through spiritual discernment. The pastor knew the level of dark malevolence that lurked deep within the stranger's soulless frame. Young Perkins pleads his desire for Kevin to join him, whereupon Mr. Pickman grudgingly acquiesced, stating, "Why, certainly I wouldn't want to go against the law." Pickman presents the group with a false smile. As the group files into the patrol car, it is plain to the young man by the toxic expression on Pickman's face, the depth of his disappointment, the level of his bitter anger. Pickman bids them farewell, waving his hand and grinning through gritted teeth, making him appear the very image of an evil jack-o'-lantern. Kevin and young Perkins smile with relief to see the schoolhouse grow small in the distance. The group were sadly disappointed, as the sheriff informs them that he deemed it the wiser if it were merely he and young Perkins who went into Musky. The sheriff didn't wish for there to be a repeat of yesterday's altercation. He then drops them off at their various points of residence. First the widow, then the pastor. Last of all, the patrol car stops in front of Kevin's home. As Kevin exits the patrol car, young Perkins extracts a favor from the sheriff, asking him to get word to the pastor the necessity of both he and his companion's early release from class. Young Perkins informs the sheriff that the pastor is well aware of the danger in them remaining after school. He adds, Pastor Jackson knows what Mr. Pickman is about. Kevin does not have to come into town. Kevin can simply return home early. But what is most imperative is that he not remain alone with Mr. Pickman. Under no circumstances is neither he nor Kevin to be kept after school. The sheriff agrees. With that, Kevin gives a long-held sigh of absolute relief and exits the car. The sheriff pulls away, leaving an extremely relieved young man standing on the curb, grinning like a newborn. As the car speeds down the road, the sheriff begins to instruct young Perkins. He informed the young man of all the do's and don'ts. He warns him about making eye contact, to say sir and ma'am. He stresses the necessity of being completely compliant, not to back sass nor back talk. He is to ignore any and every insult. The sheriff informed young Perkins that it is customary in the town of Musky that he will often be addressed as or boy, or perhaps boy. That's just how they were raised, the sheriff says. They don't mean nothing by it. They just poor, ignorant crackers, that's all. That's how things be in Musky. As they approach the town, the patrol car slows. The sheriff turns and gazes earnestly into the young man's eyes and issues a final warning. Boy, lastly, there's 2 things you got to know. 1, if you get into any trouble, you best come a-running. You know what the deputy be. Don't mind him. You just find me. You call for the sheriff. And lastly, but most important of all, you stay yourself away from the town square. You keep yourself as far away from that damned tree as possible. The sheriff's voice lowers to a whisper. It's alive. Alive. I tell you, son, it is alive. A living thing. I don't go nowhere near that thing myself. Sometimes I can feel it. I can almost hear the hellish thing breathing. Especially when it's hungry. Most of the white folks around here, they pray to the thing. I swear, fo God, it knows it can smell my blood. It knows. It knows I'm a colored man. Hell, most of these ignorant-ass crackers around here don't know shit. If your skin ain't black as tar, them damn fools think you white. That's why you gotta keep my secret, or Lord knows what that damned fool of a deputy might do. The son of a bitch wants my job. That's why from time to time I got to put his ass in check for even thinking he be sheriff. Oh yeah, one more thing for you to remember. Stay clear of that there pool hall. Stay clear of Bubba and Daryl. Them 2 be about the lowest hounds in town, so don't you trust them. With those words, the sheriff turns and speeds in the direction of the country store. Reaching the point of destination, the patrol car screeches to a halt, sending plumes of dust wafting over the poor whites, who lazily reclined on the wooden barrels out front. The first thing young Perkins notices is that same familiar hound dog resting at the bottom step. Exiting the car, the sheriff orders the young man to exit. Come on here, boy. Whereupon young Perkins heeds the command and exits the automobile. The eyes of the poor crackers follow him as he trails behind the sheriff. How do, Bob? The sheriff greets the slovenly storekeeper. How do? Storekeeper responds in kind. I heard you needed a little help here, so I got this here colored boy to lend a hand. I can't pay him much. I know, the sheriff replies. The boy just gonna be here a few hours. He got school most of the day. The boy know enough to be out of Musky for sundown. He's a good boy. His grandma's Miss Emma, you know. That old colored gal, the one what be making all of them there pies. The mentioning of Miss Emma's famous blackberry pies causes the storekeeper's eyes to widen. Oh, well now. He broadly smiles, presenting a mouth filled with crooked, brownish-yellow, tobacco-stained teeth. Chewing a bit, the slovenly storekeeper spits his slimy tobacco juice in the overflowing spittoon, peppering the floor around the container with specks of dark, viscous ooze. Well now, Sheriff, that's a horse of a different color. I reckon I do need a little help around here, providing that boy there might be able to fetch me one of them there pies from time to time." "Show thing," the sheriff replies, as he gives the young man a hearty slap on the back. "I reckon she'd be mighty pleased to do so. Ain't that right, boy?" The sheriff glancing at the young man with eyes askew. "Oh. Why, oh. I'm sure my grandma won't mind. Not at all. She'd be proud to attend to quality white folk like yourself." "Well now, I like this boy," replies the slovenly storekeeper. The sheriff gives a little chuckle, realizing how quickly the young man had learned the ropes, secure in the knowledge that young Perkins would do just fine.